Okay, welcome back. The first part will be similar because we're going to start with an introduction on what does a Microsoft exam look like. So for the ones who were in my session yesterday, that part should be similar. And then again, drilling down on some specifics that you need to know. Now, just for my own information, who has never done any Microsoft exam? Okay. Any Amazon, AWS exams? Yeah, good. I think specifically for the ones who never done any Microsoft exam, they made some interesting changes, even, right now, like the last week, where for like this exam, and I'll talk about it a lot more in detail later on, but they translating it to performance-based. So for the ones who've been taking Microsoft exams for a couple of weeks, months, maybe 20 years like myself, then you know that it was pretty theoretical, where you just get a list of questions and you need to go through multiple choice in a couple of different ways, but it was always like a theoretical approach. Where now this time, for the first time ever in Microsoft exams, you can do performance-based. So they're going to give you access to a live Azure environment, and you need to do stuff. So pretty challenging there. So my name is Peter. I'm from Belgium, but I'm hardly in Belgium. I'm traveling quite a lot for providing Azure workshops all over the globe. So larger Microsoft partners, customers, Microsoft internal, for about 4 years now. Before I worked with Exchange pretty heavily, like an Exchange consultant providing training as well, obviously. And then I somehow, I don't know, got tired of Exchange. Not because of the product, but I just needed something else and skipped Office 365 because Azure was there, looked like something really cool, something new, something that I understood, but still gave me enough challenges. And that's what I've been working at for the last 6 years. And then mainly focused on training, although I hate the word training because it sounds so schoolish, right? So it's more like workshops, hands-on, a little bit on architecture if needed, depending on the project. So that's what I'm doing. If you have any questions, let me know. We should have enough time, and if not, then I'll be at the Certification Central on second level pretty much the whole afternoon. So if you want to ask any details on, hey, why did you become a trainer, or what's life as being a trainer and traveling the world, then feel free to pass by. So what we're going to do is, again, starting with the basics of what is Microsoft certification. What does it look like? How can it help you in your day-to-day job? And maybe even more important, what's the typical track? Like, where do you get started? And again, for the ones who are familiar with the Microsoft certification world, they've made quite some dramatic changes there, and I'll talk about it. And then we're going to drill down on the specifics for this exam. So it's AZ-101. There's also an AZ-100, so it's 2 exams for 1 certification, pretty similar to what I've been doing for the last couple of years. Then the most important part is how to prepare yourself. An exam prep session is, at some point, easy to talk about. My life is pretty easy. I'm just talking about, hey, this is the stuff that you need to know. But on the other side, I can imagine that it sometimes, like for you as an attendee, it becomes a little bit boring. If it becomes really boring, it means that you're knowing Azure good enough to go out and take the exam. So let me know once you're like after, I don't know, half an hour, you go like, oh, this stuff is so easy, I already know all this stuff. Then just walk out, go down, and take the exam, because that means you're ready. If it's because I'm a bad presenter, then maybe let me know as well, but I don't think so. And then the last 2-3 slides is some personal tips and tricks. As a Microsoft certified trainer, we have to recertify pretty much every year, and we're only allowed to provide training on the stuff that we are certified on. So I've done a lot of exams in my career, and I failed a lot of them as well. I think I even failed more exams than I passed them. And I'll share some tips to somehow help you a little bit, like how can I optimize my chances in passing the exam. So that's all the way at the end. So 3 key takeaways, pretty easy. First of all, introducing you again to where do you find all the material. Specifically around the Azure exams, as I hope most of you know, is that Azure is a moving target, right? Even with the new Microsoft Learn, so that the online like pretty much 80 hours of video content they released last week and announced at the keynote on Monday. Yesterday, somebody passed by at the certification booth, like, yeah, but those videos are outdated. I'm like, well, not really. It's just the portal has changed, and that was announced at the keynote as well. And he was like, oh, yeah, but that means that they're outdated. I'm like, if you don't get it, then maybe Azure is not, or cloud in general, is maybe not the best technology for you to use, because, I mean, it's changing all the time. So I'm going to start with that. Like, where do you find the information? Why? Because since this is still pretty new, but maybe later on, if you share the recorded session with one of your colleagues, it might be that the exam objectives have changed in 2 months from now. Probably not that dramatic, because again, it's still on Azure and mainly infrastructure, but maybe some details might have changed. So why spending time on learning about it if you don't really need it for the exam? So I'll start with that one. Then the most important takeaway too is drilling down on the specifics for this 101 exam. So everything in there is what you get tested on, which also means that everything that's not in there, you don't need to learn. And again, it's obviously not just about certification. You don't take the exam because your boss, your manager asks you to. I know it's a pretty big deal, but in the end, your certification is something for yourself, right? Because it takes a lot of effort to study, to learn, and you just want to prove to yourself that you know this stuff. So don't focus too much on this is just what I need to know for my exam, because the week after, you go to a customer and they ask you something like, oh, I'm sorry, customer, I can't deploy it because it was not part of my exam. That wouldn't really work well, right? And then the last one, hopefully, getting you inspired for taking the exam here at Ignite. There's a, I don't know, like a Ignite promo if you want, where you can take the exam here on site till, I think, tomorrow around lunchtime. And you get a discount for taking the exam. So that might help. We also have practice tests. Those ones you can take for free during Ignite. So that's in the certification area as well, where you can just sit down. You don't need to make any reservations. You can just sit down, take any practice tests, finding out like, hey, how well does it work? Because the practice tests are pretty aligned with the live exam. So if you go out, you take the practice test for like, I don't know, 50 minutes, maybe an hour, and you get like, oh, this seems so easy, and your scoring is pretty good, then just go to the other hall and register for the live exam. So that should be pretty easy. Now, next to that, an exam prep session is not exposing exam questions. I'm going to share sample questions, most of them from the top of my mind, because obviously I don't have access to the questions itself. It's a pool of, I don't know, 400, could be more, that they're using all over the world. So I don't have access to those questions. Even as a trainer, we don't have access. And I'm not going to expose any of those questions, but I'm going to try to share some examples, like this is the Azure service, the Azure resource setting, and how it might get translated into an exam, potential exam question. Another thing we don't really do is sharing where you can find brain dumps. Who has no idea what a brain dump is? Who has ever used brain dumps? You're not proud of it? Oh yeah, but I'm not proud of it. Yeah. Luckily, I don't have laser eyes to write down your name, but no. So the thing about brain dumps, it's actually one of my personal challenges and frustrations at the same time. I don't trust brain dumps. Honestly, I've never used them. I know where to find them. It's something called Bing or Google or whatever search engine, and it's super easy to find them. Now, knowing that like the AZ series, because we got a couple of them, are brand new. I mean, the last questions literally were built last week. There's no way you can find brain dumps. So whenever you go out and you search for the AZ-100, the AZ-101 brain dump, they're not there yet because the questions are not exposed yet. So that doesn't really help. So what those companies or entities are doing is probably replacing the old exam number and trying to fool you in like, oh, we got a bunch of questions, but don't even go that way. Because again, like the example I already mentioned, it's not just about your certification. I mean, in the end, you want to prove to, first of all, yourself that you know your stuff. Because if you take like the brain dump-based exam, you learn all the questions by heart and hoping that it works out well. But then next week you have to go to the customer. You don't want to be the guy or girl who needs to deploy like a 500 virtual machines, high available load balancer, backup, site recovery, everything that you didn't really test it out in practice. And then again, for the performance-based exam, where you actually have to log on to a live Azure environment and deploying stuff in whatever way you want, yeah, then a brain dump is not going to help you either. So that's why we're not going to talk about it. And then lastly, it's no guarantee for passing the exam. Again, what I'm going to try to do is just walking through, first of all, certification, moving over to the specific objective domains for this exam, and hopefully inspiring you to go out and take the exam, if not here during Ignite, because you got a lot of other stuff going on. Then maybe next week, in the next month whatsoever. Another thing that I always like is feel free to reach out if you're studying and you're struggling. Send me a mail, send me a message on whatever social media platform all over the place. And I'm always willing to help. If you're stuck, if you take the exam and it doesn't work out well, let me know. And obviously, if you take the exam and you pass, then it's always nice for me to know that you passed the exam as well. Sounds good? So the Microsoft certification, it's been around for a lot of years, even longer than I was working in IT. But for now, specifically around Azure and a little bit for 365 as well, they actually made a dramatic change. So what happened in, let's say, the Azure certification for the last 6-7 years was mainly based on knowing the features, knowing how to deploy something. But since Azure as the platform is really, really broad, feedback that Microsoft received is, yeah, but I'm actually never using that part of the platform. If you're like a typical IT admin, sysadmin today, you're responsible for, as you said, a data center. You don't care about web services. You don't care about logic apps. You don't care about containers. You don't care about a lot of other stuff that's part of that Azure world, like big data solutions, artificial intelligence. I mean, a lot of cool stuff, but that's not your day-to-day concern. Where on the other side, you somehow need to know that Azure resource, that component is in there. So what Microsoft Learning did is actually looking at it from a different perspective and then pulling in customers, partners, and Microsoft trainers and discussing about job roles. So throughout the last couple of months, they organized multiple workshops in Redmond where they focused on if you're an Azure administrator, like a typical day-to-day Azure admin, what would be your core technology resources? What is the stuff that you need to know for becoming an Azure admin? And for the other ones, but that's not in this certification, if you're an Azure developer, what is your environment looking like? Do you need to know virtual machines? Do you need to know networking? Probably not. It's good that you know that the stuff is in there, but that's not your core topic. So the Azure developer one is obviously mainly focused on how do you write applications specifically towards the Azure platform? How can you translate, I don't know, an ASP.NET application, and what are the building blocks that you need to rewrite? So that exam is a lot more focused on actually writing code or at least recognizing how to run your application landscape. The same for the solutions architect. Honestly, that's a hard exam because that one is still covering the whole Azure platform, where they're not really challenging you on how do you deploy something, but why would you use this Azure component compared to another one that's somehow doing similar functionalities, but might be slightly different based on performance, based on high availability, load balancing, I don't know. So it's really starting from your job role, like what is your typical job description, and starting from there. And that should help you. I took the beta exams just mainly for fun and also for sharing some feedback about what the new exams look like. And honestly, if I compare it with the former, the 533, the 532, 535, it's a lot more focused. So you really, really know what you need to know for taking that exam. And then the last one that's upcoming, we don't have any details yet, is the Azure DevOps Engineer, where I assume most of you have some idea about in what direction it goes. It's probably about the new Azure DevOps, so the former Visual Studio Team Services, like how to build pipelines, how to push out new code, those things. So that's probably the mix between like a sysadmin and a developer without actually touching the code, but more like the back-end integration. So the roadmap, if you want, for how can I become certified, like really getting this certification paper, you can start with what's called an Azure Fundamentals. It's really the basics. Now, knowing that most of you here are attending this session knowing that it's like the 101, I'm pretty sure you can skip fundamentals. It's ideal, I think, for folks who've like never really touched technology, but somehow, like in their first job role, they're skipping like the on-prem data center world and immediately moving to cloud. Then Azure Fundamentals would be a good one. And then you can move up to become an associate, pretty similar to the former MCSA, MCSE exams. And once you're done through the associate, so taking those 2 exams if you want, then you can move up to become an expert. And it's still a combination of multiple certifications. So all of you are somehow, I hope at least, for now aiming for the Azure Administrator Associate. So it's the AZ-100, the AZ-101, and that gives you that certification. And then you can move up taking like the Azure Developer Associate one, and those 2 combined can or end up in the DevOps one, or giving you the Azure Solutions Architect one if you take the Architect exam on top of that. So that's pretty much what the roadmap looks like. So coming back to this administrator role, so it's a pretty long definition, but it should already help you in what are like the Azure core building blocks that I need to know for my exam. So I'm going to try to read it out, but not spending too much time. So we assume that an Azure administrator is someone who's responsible for managing cloud services, spanning storage, security, networking, compute, cloud capabilities. If you take the exam, we hope and assume that you have a deep understanding of the full IT lifecycle. So it's not just deploying something, but also knowing how to manage it, how to update it, how to remove servers, how to remove storage, how to handle backup updates, all those things. And you need to be aware about infrastructure services, but next to that also about applications and overall application environments. So it's a lot more than just virtual machines and networking, which was mainly the topic in the AZ-100. And on top of that, you need to make recommendations, or at least be able to make recommendations on services for performance, scaling, high availability, and how to provision them, monitoring them, and making changes to those resources. So I know it's a pretty generic description if you want, but you can already see like what are the core components for this exam, or at least for this job role. It's you're an admin. You manage resources. That's your thing. It's about security. It's about networking. It's about compute. So still mainly infrastructure focused. But next to that, it's talking about applications, and I'll talk about some details later on. So it's a lot more than just virtual machines and networking. And on top of that, there's some more. You need to have a proficient understanding of PowerShell, command line, and portal, which was another point of remark in the former Azure exams, where it was too PowerShell oriented. You could use the portal, or you got like a screenshot of the portal where you needed to pinpoint like the setting is up in that area where you need to make those changes. Where nowadays, and again with the new performance-based ones, you have to deploy resources or making changes on an existing resource. I mean, there are a lot of different opportunities there. But in the way how you deploy the resource, in the end for the exam, it doesn't matter anymore. If you deploy, I don't know, 2 virtual machines, a web server, SQL server, some virtual networks in between, if you like CLI, go ahead and deploy it in CLI. If you're like the PowerShell expert, go ahead and deploy it in PowerShell. And if you don't know either of them, then you can just use a portal and click around. So it's mainly about the end result. It's not about how you achieve that thing. It's really about getting there. Next to those command line PowerShell, it's about obviously understanding the portal, knowing ARM templates. Who's an expert on ARM templates? A couple of you? Good. So you're going to need that knowledge. Operating systems, it's not just about Azure. If you need to deploy Linux machines, if you need to deploy Windows machines, and you need to make configuration settings, then you need to know a little bit about the operating system as well. or already knowing like what is supported and what not. Server 2008, probably not supported, so you can forget about it. Server 19 is coming, so that one will probably be added into the exam, I don't know, in the next couple of weeks, months. So it's not just about the Azure, but also obviously about the underlying infrastructure. You need to know virtualization. Why? And I'll talk about it later on in the technical topic, that it's about building a hybrid cloud. And obviously, probably no surprise for all of you. I'm going to try to make this a little bit bigger. Yep. So for the ones who were not in the AZ-100 session yesterday, so that one starts with managed subscriptions, storage, virtual machines, virtual network, and a little bit on identities, where if we move down on the 100, it's advanced networking. Why? Because the basic networking, if you want, is part of the first one. Securing identities, so it's still Azure AD, but a lot more advanced than the one from the 100. About migrating VMs, so this time the focus is not on how to deploy them, how to manage them, but really about performing this hybrid migration from anywhere, from on-prem, from AWS, from VMware, how to migrate them, moving across multiple subscriptions, for example. And next to that, application services. So I told you I'm going to share some like tips and tricks along the line. So I know it's a lot of material to cover, but for now, my recommendation is if you start studying for your Azure exams, knowing that there's quite a lot of, it's not really overlap, but they're like really combining the two together, just study for the two exams at the same time. Then you book the exam, the 100 in the morning, the 101 in the afternoon, or the next day, I mean, depending on if you need to go to like a training center or an exam center, or if you can take them from home, from the office, whatsoever. But since there's a lot of like overlap in between the topics, if you're learning for virtual networking, you don't really care about basic features or advanced features. You're just learning Azure networking. If you learn how to deploy, manage virtual machines, you're probably also going to focus on how can I migrate them from my on-prem environment to my cloud-based environment. It's not like halfway in your study material, you go like, oh, I'm not going to read this stuff. I don't need to know it because I take that exam only in 2 months from now. So just study for the two exams at once and try to take them as close to each other as possible. You don't have to, obviously. I mean, Microsoft is going to challenge you like, hey, you took the exam, the AZ-100, 3 months ago. It's about time you start taking the next one. I mean, they don't really care about it. But just for helping your studying or the way of studying, that's just my recommendation. Let's see how this goes back. Looks good. Good, so that was the quick introduction on what do we need to know. Now moving on, specifically important for the ones who were not in the session yesterday and even more important for the ones who were like never done any Microsoft exam. So overall, an exam is anything between 40 and 60 questions. Some of them are really short, like does Azure support Server 2008? Yes or no? And you need to answer that question. Some of them can be pretty long as well, where one of the challenges is really finding out like what's the core message, what's the core objective for this specific question. Pretty much half of the exam takers are failing because they don't read the question. They start reading the objective or the case or the scenario. And somewhere along the lines, there's like one question, identify 3 tasks that you need to perform. If you answer one of them, if you answer 4 tasks, then you fail that question. So that's really important, like take your enough time to read the question, read the scenario first of all, and go through the question. And make sure that you know like, okay, this is the objective. I need to answer one question, one answer, 2 answers. Or another typical question style is somehow performance-based, but not in the live Azure environment then, but like giving you 7 steps on like how do you deploy Azure Site Recovery, one of the topics in this exam. How do you integrate it? Where do you start? Those are like the 7 steps, and you need to drag them in the correct order. And again, that's where the brain dumps are not going to help you because you really need to know it, how to do it. And once you deploy it once, maybe not yet, but 2 times, 3 times during your learning journey, then it's so easy. You know that you have to start with allocating an Azure recovery vault. And then the next step is deploying or the site recovery agent or the site recovery server, depending a bit on the backend, and so on and so on. So that's really like getting what we well, although I'm from Belgium, we use a lot of German words. We call it Fingerspitzengefühl. It's always fun if you ask an American to translate that. Who wants to try it? Fingerspitzengefühl. Yeah, that's a translation, but like literally saying that word seems to be pretty hard if you're from the US. Yeah, so it's getting, like just playing with the technology that it's a no-brainer. Like implementing ASR, oh, it's so easy. Those are the 7 steps. Bam, 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 and it runs. And then the exam question passes by and you go like, oh, this is so easy. I've done this 5 times. I know how to do it. That's really getting this practical experience. And then most important for the new ones, performance-based. So again, you log on to a live Azure environment, specifically spin up for your exam, and you need to do stuff. And I'm talking really in generic terms, doing stuff, I have no idea what they're asking you to do. Can be anything that relates to the core topics, the exam objectives. Deploying a VM, managing a VM, integrating site recovery, maybe deploying an integration with VMware, I don't know, can be anything. And then the next one, or the last one for this, is a case study. What's a case study? It's a little bit different than any of the other 40 to 60 questions. So first of all, it's a pretty long description where they give you a scenario, like customer XYZ is deploying workloads to Azure, migrating 50 virtual machines, and you need to define some environment characteristics, keeping performance and cost into consideration. Which of the following answers would be the correct one? Then could be like, I don't know, auto-scale sets or anything else. And then part of the case study, so they start with business scenario description and technical requirements, where it's not always just about like how do you deploy something or what technical resource would be the best one, because it might map back with a business requirement. Like maybe moving to, I don't know, from a VM sizing a DS2 to like a DS whatever number, that's a lot better in performance, but also giving you a higher cost, then maybe your first answer might be like, oh, let's move to a higher virtual machine size. But then keeping that cost aspect, so that little part in the scenario in mind as well, then maybe the auto-scaling might be a better one. Because you still got a performance, but it should be cheaper than running a static virtual machine size. So that's how you have to map your technology knowledge. And then the scoring, the ranking. So easy said, you need to have 700. Is it 70%? Not really, it's 700. Now throughout the exam, it's another misconception. Questions are not changing. So there's a huge misconception that you go through the exam, you start with questions, and questions can become harder or easier throughout the exam. It doesn't happen. When you start the exam, you get a pool of questions, and that's your pool of questions. Or even before taking the exam, you get like 4 or 5 questions for each and every of the objective domains, where you can define like what's your knowledge level on networking. Are you a basic, intermediate, expert? Don't answer basic on all of them and hoping that your exam will become easier. It doesn't work like that. It's just for Microsoft Learning, getting some feedback, like when are people actually taking exams? All the way at the beginning, when they're pretty new to the technology, or are they taking the exam once they're like on expert level? And then taking the exam like, oh, this was so easy because, yeah, you already have your expert level experience. So a couple of questions, but I already talked about it, so pretty easy. So it might start with giving you a job role. This one is for developer, but it would probably, for this exam, would mostly be like, you're the Azure admin for company XYZ, and this is what you need to do. Or technical application or workload requirements, like you have to make sure that your web application provides backup, recovery, high availability across multiple Azure regions. What would be the service plan that you allocate? Something like that. in a lot of different scenarios. Drag and drop, giving you a screenshot where you need to pinpoint, like this is the area in the Azure portal where you need to make some changes. Or they might give you a snippet of a PowerShell script where they remove some keywords and you need to drag and drop the correct keywords in that PowerShell script. So again, pretty much anything can show up. Already talked about it, and I personally really like this, is the performance-based ones, where you need to do something in the Azure environment in whatever way. So the way the validation happens is just validating in the backend if that specific resource or multiple resources that you need to deploy out of your scenario are actually there. And if certain parts are missing, then obviously you get less points than if everything would be there. And again, this is really new. So the Azure 100, the 101, the 200, 201 for the developers will have the live performance-based experience. If you later on move up to the architect one, it's still performance-based, but you don't have to do anything, so not deploying anything, not making changes. But what they're doing there is giving you an already running Azure environment with resources where certain things are not working or missing. But instead of like deploying something, you have to answer a question, like if virtual machine 1 and 5 cannot communicate with each other, what's the next thing to make that happen? And it could be, I don't know, a network security group setting that you need to drill down and detect, or like VNet peering, or moving them to different resources whatsoever. So that's, again, one of the major changes that happened there. So with that, we can make it a little bit more technical, starting with the EXAM objective domains. So these are the 4 core topics, like what, out of this global Azure environment, what are the key topics that I need to know for this exam? And again, don't focus too much on the exam itself, because I mean, the week after taking your exam, you still need to go out to a customer or maybe in your own internal environment and managing and deploying stuff. So don't focus too much on just taking the exam. But it starts with server migration, evaluating and executing. So it's understanding what you need to know, like what can be migrated, what cannot be migrated, and how do I perform that actual migration in a couple of different scenarios. Then the second one is everything around application services. But wait a minute, application services, didn't we just say that it was for developers? Well, yes and no. I mean, in a lot of environments, the Azure admins are managing the platform. They deploy a logic app. They're not really defining like the logic app workflow, but they deploy the object, the Azure resource. They're responsible for the monitoring part of it, for the diagnostics part of it. So it's leaning towards applications, and I'll drill down in some details in the next couple of slides. But it's not like, oh, I'm an Azure admin, so I don't need to know anything that's not related to virtual machine storage networking. So keep that in mind. The other one, networking, again, a pretty important one. So we call it the advanced virtual networking. Why? Because, as you already know, in the AZ-100, we cover the base networking. So VNets, subnets, fixed IPs, dynamic IPs, those things, where the advanced virtual networking is everything else. And we'll talk about the details. And then another big important part, again, like 25–30%, so more than 1/4 of your exam questions, so like 15 out of the 60, are related to securing identities. Azure AD end-to-end. That's literally what it means. Sounds good? Anything in there that freaks you out already? Like, I don't know what it is. So far, so good? Anyone wants to run out for taking the exam already? No? Some of them did, so I hope they're actually taking the exam. So the next big question that comes up is, I've been studying for my 7533, so the older Azure infrastructure exam, if you want. So what if you already studied for that one? What do you think? Everything's lost? Getting frustrated before taking the new exam already? Like, oh, damn. Microsoft, what are you doing? I was studying for 6 months, and now you changed those certifications. The good news is that you're not losing anything. I mean, it's still about the same Azure environment, obviously. So if we map with the objective domains from the former 533, as you said, it's now split up in 2 exams. So before the 533 was, again, a pretty heavy exam, where now it's just split up in 2 exams. Where some topics are identical, like the ARM templates, storage infrastructure was covered in the AZ-100. Everything around backup, site recovery, business continuity services is now part of the 101 exam. Everything around the deployment of virtual machines, deploying and managing, was part of the AZ-100, but everything around migration comes back in this exam. So the only topic that's really, really new is everything around Azure governance, so policies, role-based access control, Azure AD advanced security features, conditional access, multi-factor authentication, detailed reporting, what's working, what's not working, what features are available in which licensing version. And one of the newer ones, the Azure AD, I forgot the name, Identity Manager. And that's something that didn't exist in the 533. Now, for the ones who already passed the 533, raise of hands. Okay, so you got 2 options there, or you can take what's called the transitioning exam. It's the AZ-102. That somehow is a combination of the 100 and the 101. That's specifically going to test you on everything that was not part of the 533. So somehow everything that's new in the last 6 months, pretty much. Or you can just renew and take the AZ-100 and the AZ-101. I don't have any personal recommendation there. The easiest one, I think, is just going for the transitioning exam, like taking the 102. Worst case, if you fail, you can still go back to the 100 and the 101. So it's like trying with one exam. That's probably harder than the 2 individual ones. So from here on, we're going to dive in some more detailed information. Like we started with the 4 key objectives, or the objective domains, and just sharing some keywords, Azure resources, like that's really the focus that's coming back on the exam. And then sharing some feedback. I mean, again, it's not technical, no demos whatsoever, because it would be hard to squeeze it in like 175 minutes. But as you already know, it's about server migration, which means Azure Active Directory. Why Azure Active Directory? Because if you need to migrate workloads, then pretty fast Azure Active Directory kicks in for role-based access control. So that's why it's already coming back there. But the core domain here is understanding the Azure Migrate tool. Who's already using that one? Okay. Actually, all of you should raise your hands because it's part of the exam, but since I'm talking about it, it's okay. You get some time. So it's really about understanding Azure Migrate. What are the capabilities? What is possible? What is not possible? What can be migrated? And most important, how do I actually perform my migration? In a lot of different ways. In the second bullet point, it's about using Azure Site Recovery. It's a DR tool, but you can use it as a migration tool as well. If you're not using Azure Site Recovery, another way is using the P2V, using command line tools, using like an offline disk migration if you want. Maybe you never used it before. You're never using it at customers, you never used it in your organization, but it could become part of your exam. Like how do you run the P2V tool? What tool are you using? What are the command line syntax looking like, and so on. Then the full flow about how do you configure backup? How do you configure your site recovery vault? From deployment, integration, deploying the agents, or the full server configuration options, replicating, monitoring, diagnosing, all that stuff comes back. And again, in your preparation, like if you want to study for the exam, I would say spend about 80% on really doing actions. Open an Azure environment, you got maybe I don't know, like a sandboxed environment within your organization, or you spin up an Azure trial. Yes, they ask for a credit card, but they're not going to use it. unless like after you max out the budget or after 30 days, they're going to send you a mail like, oh, thank you for using Azure, and do you want to flip over to a paid subscription? If you say no, that's fine. Then you say no, that's it. There are some limitations, I don't know by heart, but depending on how many trial environments you spin up, sometimes your credit card is not accepted anymore. Or you can also use one Microsoft account like Peter at Outlook.com, for example, only once per trial subscription. So then you just build like a Peter2 at Outlook.com, whatever, and then using the same credit card or your partner's credit card, and then it will work again. But they'll never charge you anything. Or, and again, maybe talk to like the responsible in your organization if they have like an MSDN subscription, the developer one, that gives you $150 per month just to play with. Or another one is called the Azure Essentials, I think it's called nowadays. It's just a free Azure environment. Obviously, you don't have all capabilities. I think it gives you something like $20, $25 a month to run resources. But in the end, if you need to learn how to deploy Azure Site Recovery or deploying VMs, managing them whatsoever, it doesn't matter if the virtual machine is like $5 a month or $5,000 a month, because it's really about how do you deploy that VM, how do you manage it, and not focusing on that specific virtual machine characteristic. So you got a lot of options to just go out and play with it. Or here during Ignite, again, you can go to like the hands-on lab environment, and you can just log on to an Azure environment and just start playing. So that's another option. Any questions on this? Like, oh, I'm surprised that that topic is in there. Probably not. So some words around this migration. Again, it's trying to somehow help you in like, how well do I already know this stuff? So it's not just too theoretical, but also guiding you a little bit. So the Azure Migrate service, first of all, is the tool that you use to discover and assess on-premises virtual machines. For now, it's mainly VMware-based, but pretty soon they're going to integrate with Hyper-V hosts as well. And it's going to provide you a plan, like this is the next step. These are all the virtual machines that I detect. You can flag, like those are the 15 ones that I want to migrate, or 500 ones. I mean, numbers are not that important here. And helping you in performing lift and shift. Now, why am I talking about this in this way? Because it might be a question like giving you 4 answers where you need to define what mechanism, tool, whatever way they want to describe it, would you use to discover and assess virtual machines? Would you use Azure Migrate, which is the correct one? Would you use a manual approach, creating a list in Excel and like using it as a CSV input file? Would you run PowerShell scripts, things like that? Where then you know that it's Azure Migrate. So how does it work? Pretty easy. Again, for now it's mainly VMware oriented. So you start from an existing virtual machine VMware environment, including vCenter. If you don't have vCenter, you cannot use Azure Migrate. You install what's called the OVA, so it's like a VMware virtual appliance. If you're managing VMware, you're probably more into that than I do. And you're going to install this virtual machine environment. Next to that, you run what's called the Azure Migrate Collector VM. It's going to communicate, starting the discovery, talking to the vCenter, reading out all the bits and bytes from the vCenter inventory, and providing you metadata for your migration. So like a 4 or 5 step scenario. And eventually, talking to the Azure Migrate migration tool, if you want, in the Azure portal, to actually run your migration. The actual migration itself is driven out of Azure Site Recovery, but it's everything before the actual migration that runs out of the Azure Migrate service tool. And again, those 4 or 5 steps could be like a potential exam question, where they give you the 5 different steps and you need to drag them in the correct order. If you look at the site, you're like, okay, this sounds so easy, but it's a lot easier if you just go out and you try it. And yes, you would need like a VMware environment to learn that part. And that's where the Azure Hands-On Labs can help you again. So you start with the setup, discovery. Again, most important step there is the virtual appliance on VMware, the OVA file as we call them. Then you're going to run dependencies. So it's going to flag, recognize all your servers. And it's going to recognize, or at least allowing you to build groups. Like An easy example, if you run an Exchange server in a virtual machine and a domain controller, then most logically you're going to group them together. Because if you start migrating your Exchange server to Azure, but there's no domain controller on that side, then probably your Exchange server will start up, but the services will never run because it needs a domain controller. So that's how you can build in some logic in during your migration. And then you run some readiness tool. It's going to check like, oh, are all those existing VMs, operating system, machine specs, memory sizing, disk sizing, everything, is it available in the Azure side, where it's going to give you some virtual machine mappings, and also giving you a cost estimate. Migrating this VM to Azure, once it starts running in Azure, this will be the monthly consumption cost. But you can still play with some settings, obviously. And then running the actual migration, technically for the exam, it's Azure Site Recovery, because it's like the built-in Azure platform tool. But technically, outside of the certification, out of the exam, you can also use third-party tools. But on the exam, they're never going to challenge you on a third-party tool. So keep that in mind. Even if in your organization, you're not using ASR, but something else, the exam is specifically focused on using ASR. So that's why. Another one in the objective domain is backup. So site recovery initially for migration, but obviously Azure Site Recovery is also like a virtual machine disaster recovery tool. So there might be a question coming up where they ask you, like, in this specific scenario, would you use backup or would you use site recovery? Backup allows you to restore a virtual machine. Azure Site Recovery somehow should help you in getting back up and running without restoring anything, because your VM is already there, it's waiting, it's replicating. That's how it works. And then again, cross environment, where it's not only Hyper-V based, it's not only Azure to Azure based, but it's cross-platform. So they might challenge you on how to migrate AWS machines, how to migrate VMware-based VMs, things like that. So going pretty broad. Then some details on Azure Backup. So you got 3 different scenarios. What Azure Backup as the Azure Cloud Service is giving you is taking backups of files and folders, taking full application workload backups, and taking Azure Virtual Machine backups, supporting Windows and Linux. So trying to keep you awake for files and folders, what's the solution? Azure Backup what? Azure Backup Agent, yep. For the application workloads, what would you use there? Still an agent, something else? Azure Backup Server, or Data Protection Manager if you're already using that one. And the scenario for Azure VMs, is it an agent, is it a full server? Or just a setting, enable backup, and that's pretty much it, yep. So that's again how you need to know the differences, where they might give you a scenario like, hey, you need to take backups of an on-prem running file, on-prem running server, but we only need to have a backup of files and folders, like, I don't know, some offline database whatsoever. What Azure Backup solution would you implement? Is it possible, is it not possible, and is it using an agent, using backup server, using something else? So that's how they can challenge you on that question. So if you have an Azure virtual machine and you need to take backups of files and folders, what would you do there? An agent or the built-in one? Who says agent? Raise of hands. Who says backup, the built-in Azure backup one? So what do all the other ones say? You don't know? No, because I'm here to learn. Good. So for Azure VMs, I actually need to share some more details because it depends on the scenario, typical consulting answer. Why is that? Because it's not just about the backup, but it's about the restore. If you take a full backup of an Azure VM and you perform the restore, you have 2 options. First option is performing a full restore, where it's creating a new VM that's identical to the backup. But the second option is extracting files and folders. So you technically have 2 options. Translating it to the exam question, it's most probably like you're running an Azure virtual machine. You need to guarantee like a files and folders backup, what would be the most optimized solution? Something like that. Like restoring the full virtual machine backup is probably less efficient than just restoring the files and folders. So that's how they drill down on the details. Then site recovery, again, guiding you a little bit in like the step-by-step scenario. In a lot of different ways, so again, supports different source environments, you already know, and then you start with deploying the site recovery vault, you deploy the agents or the configuration and processing servers, select your source VMs, waiting till everything's replicated in step 5, and at the end, executing the failover, and it's done. That's your migration. If it's not about migration, then you just keep everything running, and it replicates all the changes every 5, 15 minutes, up to 30 seconds. If it's not an Azure VM, because it doesn't support those 3 timeframes. So that's how you should understand the process. Sounds good? Still awake? Getting hungry a little bit? Yeah. I won't run out of time, no worries there. So that was the first big bucket: backup, site recovery, and Azure Migrate. The second one is application services. So again, don't worry too much if you're not a developer, if you don't like coding. It's about understanding the Azure services, knowing first of all that the services are there, and knowing what they're doing. So deploying logic apps, the workflow-based scenario. Deploying Azure functions. So not developing functions, but deploying that Azure function resource. And knowing how to monitor it, knowing how to manage it, how to delete it if you want. So it's not about like actually running that function, how to develop a function or writing a PowerShell script into a function, but it's really about like allocating the placeholder if you want. Knowing the characteristics of the app service plans. So the S1s, the S0, the P1, 2, 3, 4. What are the characteristics? Why would you use a service plan? What are the limitations of a service plan? I don't know, an example question from top of my mind. You need to make sure, so you're the Azure, let's make it formal. You're the Azure admin, and you are running Azure application services for web apps. You need to guarantee that your Azure environment supports X amount of workloads. What service plan would you allocate? Or you need to guarantee that your developer can use SSL certificate integration, which is not available in all service plans. So that's how you have to understand them. So don't really learn all the service plan metrics if you want. Don't really learn it by heart, but just understand like the core differences between the different families. Or like what would be difference between running it on like a shared platform instead of a dedicated service plan, something like that. Then everything around management. So once you deploy app services, it can be anything. Deploying them, managing them, diagnostics, monitoring, SSL certificates, CDN integration. For the ones, and again, that's why I made that recommendation to somehow study for the 2 exams at once, because in the AZ-100, CDN is an important topic. How to deploy it, how to manage it, where this one is mainly what can CDN do in an app environment, and how do you manage it. So it's a bit less technical and less focused on CDN itself. But if you're already studying for the 100, you'll learn about CDN, so that little part in the 101 becomes super easy, because you already are using it. So some details again on app services, but I assume that most of it is pretty familiar. So you start with the overall Azure app services that gives you like the baseline layer, if you want, for everything on top of that. Where within the app services itself, you got a couple of different domains. So you got web apps, like one of the most important ones or the popular ones, but you can also run containers. Damn. That means that you have to know some basic understanding of containers. Because containers can run in an Azure web app. You have to know what is supported, what's working, what's not working. Or logic apps, again, mainly used by developers, but as an Azure admin, you need to know the basics of logic apps. What are they doing? How are we using them? And most important, how do I monitor them? Same for APIs, specifically for developers, but again, you need to know the baselines, and Azure Functions as well. And then on top of that, you run the different application workloads. That's more for like setting the scene in the scenario where you're the responsible for an e-commerce platform that's running in cloud services, and then you know that, oh yeah, I need to understand the web app components, maybe container components, maybe monitoring application insights, those things. Or another one is deployment slots. Another important feature once you start heavily using application services. So deployment slot is one of those things that I think you need to understand pretty well, where you can define multiple deployment slots. It can be test and dev, can be staging, can be production, where you can easily swap from one environment to the other. And next to that, keeping in mind that the service plan can be shared across multiple deployment plans, can be shared across multiple app services. So what this means is you can define one single service plan, like a S1, not that important, and using that one for web apps, mobile apps, API apps. But then all of a sudden you bump into, I don't know, a performance bottleneck, where the recommendation would be to dedicate one app service component to a dedicated service plan. And then again, you can all imagine what kind of super complicated case study question can be distilled from this one. Or the other scenario, a bit more complicated, is the app services environment. Anyone using that one already? ASC? Mm-hmm. So it's giving you all functionality from the typical Azure App Services, but in an isolated environment. So a typical keyword in a question or in a scenario would be that it needs to run in a dedicated virtual network, where security is important, compliance is important, all those things. Everything else is just giving you virtual machine or web app information. So you run also the blue box on the outside is your Azure VNet, and within you deploy an application service environment, an ASC, and within the ASC you run everything that just looks and feels like any other typical Azure application service. That gives you SSL integration, gives you load balancing integration with the web application firewall. And again, everything around serverless. The different services, logic apps, functions, event grid, not from a developer perspective, again from an admin perspective, and how to integrate with other Azure services. The other bucket is a bit easier. It's advanced networking. What is advanced networking? It's load balancer in a couple of different scenarios, monitoring, managing networking, and again, hybrid integration. So what are the solutions? Azure Load Balancer. What are the flavors? What are the limitations? What are the capabilities? Or application gateway. What's the difference between the gateway and the load balancer? Knowing how to deploy VPN, point to site, site to site. Knowing what ExpressRoute is, how to deploy it, how to manage it. No, you don't have to buy an ExpressRoute connection for your exam. It would be a bit too expensive. And on top of that, understanding Network Watcher. Who has never heard of Network Watcher? All of you? Only a handful not? Okay. So the load balancers, know that there's a basic and standard. It's not in preview anymore. It was one of the announcements lately. Understand the differences between the basic and the standard. Oh, by the way, since it says preview here, there are no questions on preview features. So whenever you see something in the Azure environment in the documentation that points to preview, you can skip it for the exam. No questions on preview features. That's easy. Internal load balancer, external load balancer, all pretty easy, I think, if you're somehow into networking. What's the keyword about load balancer to keep in mind? That you cannot combine external and internal on the same load balancer. So in a question, if your scenario is that you need to deploy a high available virtual machine-based environment using load balancing solutions, making sure that you can route internal, external load balancing for like internet to the web servers, and then web servers load balancing to like the database servers. What solution would you use? Would you need one load balancer, two load balancers, no load balancers, and I don't know, something else? That could be like a question. Or the other brother is Application Gateway. Application Gateway, again, you need to know the characteristics, what's different compared to the typical load balancer, where App Gateway is mainly only recognizing HTTP, HTTPS traffic, but also giving you some advanced features. SSL offloading, web application firewall, URL redirection, a lot of stuff that the typical Azure load balancer is not giving you. And again, some details, HTTPS, SSL offloading, the web application firewall, which is another important feature, and the URL-based routing. So if you see any question like you need to guarantee that any user connecting to your virtual machine-based web application is always being redirected to the correct URL, then you immediately know that it's App Gateway. It's not Azure Load Balancer. So that's again how you have to understand it. And again, no questions, sorry, no questions on third-party products. If you go like, yeah, but my organization is using third-party load balancers out of the Azure Marketplace, that's fine, nothing wrong with that, but it's not coming back on the exam. The monitoring part of the network is Network Watcher. Play with Network Watcher, understand the functionality, the features. One of the important ones I think there is running a packet capture, pretty much what, what's it called? Wireshark is doing. It's identical. You can create a network capture and even opening it in like Wireshark or in the Microsoft, what's it called, messaging analyzer tool, so pretty similar. Deploy it, enable it, play with it. That would be the key characteristic. Or integration with another monitoring tool, the Network Monitor, or the network part in Azure Monitor if you want. Again, know that it's there, how it runs. Or integration with Security Center. Again, I told you in the beginning, it's just 4 core domains, but they still go pretty broad across the platform, where you need to know Security Center, because it's part of monitoring, managing, securing your network environment. So during your studying journey, make sure you spend some time on that one as well. And then the last one is identity. Azure AD, where again, there's a lot of overlap between the Azure AD components you need to know for the AZ-100 and for this one. So the AZ-100 is mainly on how do you deploy Azure AD, Azure Active Directory, knowing AD Connect, like the hybrid user group synchronization mechanism, how to bulk manage users and groups, making changes, where for this exam, it's all about the security aspect of Azure AD. How to enable, integrate multi-factor authentication. What are the settings? What are the different steps? How to integrate role-based access control, although that one already was covered in the AZ-100 as well. And then the last one, privileged identity management, where you're going to lock down admin user capabilities. You are an admin today, you log on to an Azure VM, and we're going to give you limited admin rights. Or you can log on during the next 2 hours doing your admin stuff, and after 2 hours, we're going to disable your admin access rights. That's what privileged identity management is doing, which I think honestly is one of the newest features. I mean, it's been in there for a couple of months, but that's really new compared to like the 533 exam, where at that moment in time, the privileged identity management didn't even exist. So role-based, we talked about it. Some examples, policies, we talked about it. And then the 2 premium features, where it could come back in a sample question, like to make sure that 50 of your admin users can somehow get advanced identity protection, what Azure AD license would you need? Do you need it, the free edition, the premium P1, the premium P2, or it does not exist? Could be a question. Then knowing what's available in each and every of those Azure AD flavors. So they're not going to ask you questions on like true licensing, like what would be the cost, because that really depends on regions. But at least understanding like what features are available. If, I don't know, for example, you need to provide a mechanism that gives you detailed reports about users with anomalous sign-ins, then you need to know that it's only available in the premium edition. Then the privileged identity management feature, but already explained it. When you're a typical admin, you got a lot of permissions, and with Azure AD PIM, we're going to lock it down. So again, in your Azure environment, integrate it, play with it, test it out, understand the differences in the different profiles you can configure, how to configure them, what are the limitations, what's the audit logging, for example, looking like. That would be the key characteristics there. We're pretty close to the end, got some time left for Q&A. Perfect. So the next thing after this, first of all, was it helpful so far? Like the technical details a little bit. Again, I wish I could do a lot more in demos, like this is site recovery, this is migrate, but you got all the other Ignite sessions to learn about like the real technical things. But that's good, thanks. So the next couple of slides as a wrap-up of the session is like, yeah, somehow I'm inspired for taking the exam, but I'm not ready yet. So what's all the other information you can share? So it starts with Microsoft Learn, so the new learning platform if you want. So it's an online library. Anyone used MVA before, the Microsoft Virtual Academy? Yeah. So it's pretty similar. Obviously, content is completely new. Although yesterday somebody said like, oh yeah, but the videos are outdated because the portal changed and it was announced on Monday. So yes, there are some changes, but obviously the content is still pretty new. So that would be one resource. It's about 80 hours of content. Or obviously nothing wrong with that, going to a learning partner, any learning partner in your area that you used for any other Microsoft or non-Microsoft training. They have Microsoft certified trainers and they can help you. Or talk to any of the other online learning platforms, LinkedIn Learning. In the meantime, it's part of Microsoft, but it's still like a separate learning platform. Pluralsight is on there. Why? Not to do any marketing specifically for them, but out of an Azure Enterprise Agreement, your organization gets X amount of hours Pluralsight Azure training content. Or if you got an MSDN subscription, then you can also use that one. So if you need all the details and you want to read through them again in a little bit in your own time, it's or microsoft.com/learning. That would be like the landing page for all learning information. Or you can go to the aka.ms, MS cert, and that gives you the specific redirection to the certification tracks. Specifically here at Ignite, there's another one. It's the practice test. So the remainder of today and tomorrow, you can sit down and take practice tests for free. After Ignite, you have to pay for them. Sometimes get a question like, yeah, Peter, but is it actually worthwhile? My answer is yes. Why? Because it gives you a good experience. They're not like identical to the live exam questions, obviously, but they give you like a good experience, what kind of questions, like the drag and drop, to somehow become familiar with it. And next to that, it's not just a list of questions, but it's also giving you the motivation why that answer is the correct one. And then pointers to the official Microsoft documentation, which, by the way, and it's on here as well, is, even for me as being the trainer, is one of the prime sources of information. If you need to learn something, if you want to read through some content, start with docs.microsoft.com. It's pretty up to date, and I say pretty, I mean it could always be that the portal is giving something different than the documentation, but it should be pretty well aligned. So even I use this heavily as my source of information. Not just for training. If I need to build labs, I just go like, oh yeah, what's already available, to just make sure that the labs I'm building are not identical to the ones that they are offering. But besides that, it's a valid source of information, even using it as your study material. So the last one is my number slide. It's I don't know, some practice if you want that I started talking about like more than 6 years ago, where I found out after doing all those trainings and suffering for passing exams myself, is like, what would be the best approach? And this one, and again, feedback is based on other trainings and feedback from students that I get. So for me, it's a 30, 60, 90, and a 1 and a 2. So 30, 60, 90 is easy. It means you take one, that's the one, you take 1 hour a day during 30, 60, 90 days, so pretty easy, 3 months from now. It's like mid-January, after Christmas holidays. You go out and you book your exam today. You book it for January 15 if it's not on a Sunday, I don't know. And then you start studying 1 hour a day from tomorrow on. That means if you're tomorrow or this afternoon attending 4 hours of sessions, you're already learning 4 hours. That's your 1 hour a day. Why the 1 hour? Because it's easy. Because it's not that much. It's like during lunchtime, you log on to the Azure portal and you deploy something. Or you go to the docs and you learn something. Or next week, you watch an Ignite session. It's roughly 75 minutes, some of them like 45, or the theater sessions 20 minutes. That means that you can focus on 3 different topics in that 1 hour. And it's not jeopardizing your family life. It's not jeopardizing that you want to go out with your friends and have a beer. It's just a 1 hour a day during roughly 3 months. And then the number 2 is another interesting one, I think. The first one is there's nothing wrong with spending 2 hours a day. The other angle is if you fail the exam the first time, then you can take it a second time. Depending a bit, and I don't know if it's available right now, but in a lot of scenarios, Microsoft gives you what's called a second shot. The thing is that when you book your exam, you need to flag, I want to make use of that second shot. If you don't need it, you cannot reuse it for another exam. But if you fail your first test, then you can immediately take the second one. Well, immediately like the next day. There's like, I think, 24 hours in between. But you don't have to pay for the second attempt of taking the exam. And the last angle in the 2 is, don't forget this session was about the Azure 101. But to become full certified as being an Azure admin, it's the AZ-100 and the AZ-101. Action, I'll leave it up to you. Again, practice tests, hands-on labs during Ignite, after Ignite. During Ignite, you can take the test with a 50% discount. And later on, you can find all that information at the certification area. So it's on the 2nd floor, all the way to the right of the expo, close to the mechanics area. Hands-on labs is there. Microsoft Learning folks are there, so if you have any questions or objections, comments about certification, I mean, people are there, MCTs are there. So that would be one thing. Other sessions, depending a bit on your aspiration for additional Microsoft certification. A couple of them are already done earlier this week, but since all sessions are recorded, you can easily watch them later on, no worries there. And that's pretty much it. I got like 2, thank you. I got 2 minutes left for some Q&A if you want. I got also some stickers for the ones who like stickers. Seems to be the new big thing at a conference nowadays. So, and if not now, if you want to go out for lunch, then you can find me later on at the certification hall. Thank you so much. A question?
Yes. The link that you provided earlier was to the Mind Hub for the practice test. Mm-hmm. In your opinion, what practice test site is best, Azure or Mind Hub?
I don't think that like anyone is best. I personally have most experience with MeasureUp, partly because they are offered sometimes as a bundle, where you book your exam and then at the same time you can like add MeasureUp on top of that. It depends. I mean, but even that one has changed. So some of the comments was like, yeah, I paid, I don't know, like 100 something for a practice test, and it was so outdated. So even there, and again, partly because of the new exams, but all MeasureUp tests have been rewritten from scratch for the new Azure exams as well. So they are totally up to date. Yes? Might be. So the question is mainly about Azure resource limitations. I mean, no matter what functionality or service. Yeah, because the different sizings give you different capabilities. Yeah, but Not really. Just knowing that you got like 3 different flavors and like the network bandwidth, I think, is the most important one there. So if the question would be like, oh yeah, you need to make sure that, so you need to deploy VPN gateway first of all. And the second is you need to guarantee like a 1G bandwidth connection. What flavor would you use? That could be a question. And to avoid that, you're not recommending express route, then they would explicitly mention that it needs to be VPN gateway based, something like that.
Need to know the difference between like one or one.
Yep. Yep. But that, I think that's an easy one. I mean, it's in the documentation, it's just reading, and I mean, it's in total, it's a lot of stuff that you need to remember, but yep. Other questions? Not on that side. On that side. Good. Well, thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of Ignite.